Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Happy Sunday to you all. Welcome to my session, which is all about packing your mental fitness kit bag. I'm Polly Brennan, for those of you who don't know me, and I am the mental fitness coach. Today, we're going to talk about kit bags for life, for your journey. I've brought mine, so I'm going to unpack mine for you today, and I'm hoping that you will become curious about packing your kit bag too by the end of today's session. Today is a taster, it's a whistle-stop tour. I'm inviting you really to have a mental fitness check-in. My best hopes are that you'll leave here with more awareness around your mental fitness and what mental fitness really means to you. I'd like it if you had some strategies that you can put into practice today and some top tips to take forward, and really just to build your awareness of the fact that you already have mental fitness and mental health. We all do. What I can promise you won't happen, there will be no role play. Role play is my least favourite thing, and I will not impose that upon you, I promise. We will not be asking anybody to talk about anything personal. I won't be asking you to share anything personal, but I will be asking you questions and inviting you to have a little bit of a think for yourself about the topic today and what it means to you. So, if you're ready to invest in your mental fitness, it's time for us to start to think about how you can have more, be more, and do more. We'll have 40 minutes, and in that 40 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about mental fitness, what it is. I'm going to help you think a bit about your kit bag. I'm going to share mine. So I've got my kit bag here today, and I've unpacked it for you. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that. I'll put that to the side for now. And we'll have 20 minutes at the end for any questions. Now, what I'd like you to do is, any questions that come up, pop them down, write them down or hold on to them, write them in the chat, and the questions in the chat that are most popular will be the questions that we cover in the Q&A. I would like the Q&A to be interactive rather than me as the expert. I'd like us all to share our expertise. Anyone who would like to share tips, ideas and thoughts, I want it to be interactive. So pop questions in the chat and let's have some fun. So here we go, let's start. Okay, so just for your knowledge, just a little quick backstory about me. I have spent the last 26 years, I know it's hard to believe, but I have been around for 26 years working in the field of mental health with people with severe and enduring mental health challenges as an occupational therapist. I've walked shoulder to shoulder with people who have been in a painful and difficult place and I've been helping them recover and have been helping them build their mental fitness. I'm trying to really focus on helping people become experts in their own mental health and mental fitness. For the last 6 years, I've been adventurous coaching. I've been I've been a mental fitness coach who's been helping people who feel stuck, people who want to prevent finding themselves in a place of mental illness, and people who just want to really strengthen their mental fitness so they can have what we might call mental wealth. So what do I mean by that? I'd like you to imagine a sliding scale. Okay, so let's think about 1 to 10. And imagine that we are all on this scale, because spoiler alert, if you have a pulse, you have mental health. And on this scale, if we imagine that this bottom end, perhaps the people I've spent many, many years working with, where life's become so problematic, we can't perhaps function, getting out of bed, getting into life, lots of symptoms, lots of challenges, lots of difficulties. Nobody wants to be here. And imagine this other end of the scale, where you have the strength and the resources and the tools, strategies to have what you want and what you need so that you can live life to the full. We all want to be here, but it's difficult to be here all the time. So we shift up and down the scale, and depending upon life events, depending upon circumstances, depending upon whether you have the buffers in place and various things, your stress at any given time, we can all slide up and down the scale at any given time. And what I've discovered is it doesn't matter how much you earn, where you live, your ethnic background, we can all slide up and down this scale at any given time, as can I as a coach. But what we want to do is we want to be at our best. So we need strategies and tools to do that. I guess a quick question I'd like to ask you very quickly, and this is just for you, where would you put yourself on that scale right now? On that scale of 1 to 10? Just capture the number, have a little bit, think about that just for you, and ask yourself this. Is this place comfortable? Is this a comfortable place for you? So, mental fitness is that workout that we do that bridges the gap between where you are now in terms of your mental health and your well-being and where you'd like to be. And I'll tell you this, that building mental fitness is possible for us all. It's not a one-stop shop, it's not like a tick-off thing on a list of things to do. It's a constant work in progress. It's not one size fits all, so I can't have the answers for you, but I can help you work out what solutions and strategies are right for you. And it's something that we all need to learn. It's something that we can all aim for, and it's something we can all achieve. And what I'd also like to say is, a little bit like strengthening our physical fitness, mental fitness is something that we create through habits, routines, regular actions, training. It's how we boost our resilience for life's big adventure, really. So mental fitness training is a way for us, if you think about it like this, it's about investing in ourselves. And little by little, a bit like putting money in the bank, we make deposits, little by little, that accumulate and over time create our mental wealth. So, it's an investment. So let's invest in ourselves. Thank you so much. The question really is, if you were to imagine a yes-no, I would like you to think first of all about one thing, which is, do you currently invest in your physical health? Now, this could mean that you have a subscription. Perhaps you go to the gym, or you make space regularly to work out in some way. So have a little bit of a think about whether that's actually happening in your life right now. And you can add that into the chat. The second question is the same, similar, but this time we're looking at your mental fitness, your mental health, your mental well-being. And I'm asking you this, do you currently invest in your mental well-being? That could be regular access self-care. It could be that you, maybe you see a coach, a counsellor, or maybe you do something else. So just have a think a little bit of that. Now, this poll is anonymous. I don't want to gather that data about you. It's more just about getting a feel for whether people are at the moment looking after their, where are we invested? Also, I'd just like to say this to you, in your digital gift bag, in your toolkit for today, you'll have a sheet like this. I don't know if you can see this. It's just a plain sheet which has a kit bag on it. It's a space for you to record. So it might be that while we're chatting today, it might be little questions pop up as I go through the 9 areas of mental fitness. Maybe you want to take a note of a question. Maybe you have a question you're asking yourself. Maybe there's a strategy that pops up into your mind that you realise is something that you do regularly and you want to remember that's important. Maybe you hear me talk about something and realise that's important. Keep a list, use this for you to start to record things that you're discovering or questions or things you want to think a bit about going forward that relates to your mental fitness. Okay, so we're going to look now at the 9 areas of mental fitness. So here we go, this is the good bit, this is where it gets fun. So we created our poll, we're thinking a bit about that. Okay, so I'm a mental fitness coach, as I've told you. I have, over my years of coaching and working with people, I have researched and discovered key characteristics of people who I've helped along the way to really thrive, and as a result of that they're living life to the full. And I really wanted to understand what that means and why that's possible for some people and what it is they do, because it's possible for us all, and it's about our actions that we take and our investment in ourselves. So on the back of that, I created a coaching system with 9 areas. Now, I wonder if you can see that behind me. This is my mental fitness coaching system here. To create this system, and it's a catalyst for change. You can see it's a wheel, okay, so wheels take us on journeys. I love going on journeys, but I realised that on the life's journey, on our journey, we need to have the provisions and tools. When I go on a journey, I take my bag and I pack it, put things in it. I think, what am I going to need for this? Do I need provisions? Do I need resources? What if things go wrong? What do I need? And so for life's journey, we need resources too. So here we go, let's unpack the kit bag and I will share what's in my kit bag now with you. So here we go, here's where I start playing around with props. These things are metaphors, but it helps us to really, really think about what's important. So first of all, number one, tell your story. So the question is, what's your story? This is my little book. It says, what's your story? Because I'm going to open it up and read my story, but we're all storytellers in life. We all have stories to tell, and every time we speak and open our mouths, we're telling a story. We're telling a story to the people around us, to the world, and we're telling a story to ourselves. And we allow these stories to define us. But sometimes these stories aren't helpful. But whatever stories we tell, whatever facts we share, will harden as our truth. There's always many stories available to us, but the big question is, what story do you want to share? What story do you want to define you? Who are you? What do you have to offer? What's possible in your life? It's vital that our stories strengthen us, that they strengthen a story about our capabilities and who we can be and what's possible. So here's a tip for you. Check in on a regular basis. What story are you telling yourself? Ask yourself that. What story am I telling myself today? And is this story helping me, or is this story holding me back? If the story's unhelpful, you can change it. And if you can't change the story, you can change the meaning. So let's think a bit more about that. Okay, number two, we're going to talk about journeys. So I mentioned already, I love taking journeys. Life's a journey. We're going on journeys all the time. So here's my prop. It's my map. I love going on journeys on my bike. So it's a cycle route that goes all the way from here all the way up to Bonnie, Scotland, and it's absolutely beautiful. I couldn't recommend it more. So navigating your journey. So life's our journey, but on any journeys we can get lost, we can get stuck, we can get confused about which direction to take, and sometimes we realise that we've ended up at a place we didn't actually plan to be or hope to be, and then we wonder, how did that happen? How did I get here? Sometimes we end up in destinations that are lovely, and sometimes detours take us to beautiful destinations. But there's never a wrong time to reset the compass. So here's my lovely little compass. This is something I use regularly. I talk a lot about stop and reset the compass. What I mean by that is at any time in our lives we can stop and check in and go, where actually am I right now? That can be about your location, but it can be about, like, where am I in life? Where am I right now? Is this where I want to be? What direction do I want to take? But in order to know which direction to take, you actually also have to be able to focus your lens, don't you? So get the binoculars out and we have a bit of a look, and we have to check and see if this is where we want to go. We can look at our landscape and decide where we want to go, and it's important that we make sure that the destination's beautiful, or we should at least be aiming for that. So we can reset the compass. We have to really focus our lens, and I promise you this, the more detail that you can imagine about the destination you want, the more likely it is that you can actually reach that. So sometimes we have to refocus, and then sometimes we have to reroute. So at any time we can change direction. We can, you go on a journey, you go to a new place, but people who succeed to get to that destination are people who are grounded. They're people who know where they are, they've got a clear direction and they take actions every single day that take them to where they want to be. So if you're not where you need to be right now, stop. First of all, have a check-in, work out where you're at, focus on where you want to be, create a roadmap. Now that sounds easier, doesn't it? That sounds easy, but putting it into practice takes time and effort. So if I can say 3 quick things about that today, is that take action. First of all, don't stay still, because even when you're standing still, you can get knocked over. And even when you're sitting in the fence, you can get splinters. 3 actions, think about 3 things that you can do that might take you forward towards where you want to be, and create some accountability. Have an accountability buddy, someone that'll help chivvy you along and make sure you keep moving forward. Okay, number 3. This is all about nurturing your well-being. So I've brought my eye mask, because this is something that I probably need to think a lot more about to nurture my well-being. I think the 2 props I would share would be my big muddy boots and my eye mask. And there's nothing that I love more than getting muddy feet and rosy cheeks. But this is about nurturing your well-being. It's the actions that you take. It's about the resources you make available to yourself to help you thrive. Now, nurturing your well-being might mean something completely different to you as it means to me, but what this is about it's about looking after your spirituality, it's about looking after yourself emotionally, it's about mental and physical well-being. So we have to really get clear what it is. What would it be to you? What might you need? Is it connections with other people? Are you like me? Do you need more rest? Or maybe there's something different, maybe there's something missing. Maybe there's habits that you know are important but you're not attending to them. What does well-being look like to you is the first question. You know, we need to work, rest and play. So what do you need to do? And whatever you decide, you could come up with a list of 10 things, but all you really need to do is to choose one of those things and make time every day, or if that feels a bit too bold and a bit too indulgent, 3 times a week, make 30 minutes for you at the absolute least, and create the intention to do it in the next week. Make it happen now. It's not a next week, a next month or a next year thing, it's right here, right now. Number 4. Okay, we're going to talk a bit about choosing your mindset. That's really, really important. Mindset is so important. So here we have the feather duster. The feather duster can be, we dust our homes, we dust places, we clear things out. And I've also brought my secateurs. I realise that you know, these are dangerous used wrong, but they're for cutting back dead wood, aren't they? So our mindset, this is about your mindset, and it's about the fact that our mindsets are a really powerful tool. They help us have more, be more, do more, because what happens with your mindset is your mindset shapes events. It shapes, your mindset is shaped by events, it's shaped by experiences. Our mindsets are shaped by things that have happened. Our mindsets are shaped by values and beliefs, and perhaps they're influenced by the values and beliefs of people around us and what we've learned along the way. Mindset's a little bit like putting on a pair of spectacles, in that our mindset influences our worldview. The way we perceive things and believe will influence what we see, and what we see will influence our actions. So mindset is incredibly powerful. If you have a growth mindset, for example, you're going to see possibilities, you're going to realise that we can learn and grow and develop, you're going to get more excited about what's possible. If you have a fixed mindset, however, your world will shrink, because you'll see things as black and white, good and bad, right or wrong, possible or impossible. Sometimes we need to have a bit of a spring clean of our mindset. And what I mean by that is that we can have a think about the mindset we have and question whether our mindset is strengthening a worldview that makes more things possible, or whether our mindset is holding us back. So here's my tip. I shall put my props down. My tip is this. Start to train your mindset. Start to notice your mindset. Start to notice the way you see the world. Notice if you've got hopeless and defeatist thoughts and adapt them. Ask yourself, what do I need to think instead for more to be possible? and invite unhelpful thoughts to take a hike because they're going to hold you back. I love to embrace a positive mantra. This is one of the ways in which I really, really fuel my mindset. So before I started today, I stood here and I said, go forward fearlessly with the confidence to thrive. That's my mindset and that's my mantra. And this is something I've worked on, and you can do that too. The question is, what do you need to think, see and hear every single day to help you? Okay, let's move on. This is next about taking action. So taking action. So here's the thing, we've got a rocket. Rockets are impactful, they launch, they reach the moon, and it's possible for us all to aspire to that, isn't it? Taking action is really, really important in our lives because our kind of lives are defined by our roles, and our roles tell us what actions we need to take to be who we are in the world. But you know what? We're human beings, but we're really human doings, aren't we? We're always focusing on what we need to do, and that can hold us back and it can help us. We're action-oriented people, we're always looking for results. So, taking action is an interesting one because the challenges that people bring around taking action can be multiple. Sometimes people have a challenge around taking action in that it's hard to get started. And for that, I would recommend the Goldilocks challenge, which is the just right challenge. And this is where you have to find the sweet spot between the comfortable stretch and sitting back and doing nothing. It's finding something that you can do to get started that's the just right challenge that you want enough to fuel you forward. Other challenges people can have sometimes is about the motivation. There's a rocket launch technique that we can do when we're finding it hard to get started, where we kind of have to just spring into action and launch ourselves into that thing before we have time to create a dialogue in our head that puts us off. And thirdly, I would say getting out of our comfort zone is another challenge around taking action that people bring to coaching. And today I would guess there's a lot of people presenting and running workshops that are getting out of their comfort zone, and this is possible for you too. So sometimes we have to play the consequences game, and we have to ask ourselves, what if I do? What's possible if I do? And also, what if I don't? What will change if I stay put? Okay, I'll move on. Resilience. This is really, really important. Okay, I'm going to get out my hard hat and stick it on. Not my best look, but this is my cycle helmet. And when I wear it, I'm not looking for the best look, I'm looking for safety. I'm trying to avoid injury. I want to talk very briefly about resilience building. It's a really, really, really important thing. So bounce back ability is really, really important. And what I'll say to you is this: being resilient is less about the journey being smooth. It's less about everything being lovely. It's about the fact that life is tough and we have to be able to bounce back from those tough moments and tackle life's curveballs. So there's lots of things that can happen in life. Sometimes we had to batten down the hatches, didn't we? We've had a good reason to batten down the hatches recently. Sometimes we have to cut off the curveballs and the injury at the offset. Sometimes we've got to wear our hard hat to prevent casualty when life gets tough. There are lots and lots of different ways. So we know that life doesn't get easier, we get stronger. And we know that also that being resilient is completely connected to being vulnerable. It's when things get tough, and instead of being stuck, we get through, because we always do. Because I promise you this, your ability to survive difficult days is 100%. We've all survived. So we can train ourselves to have mental fitness when life gets really, really tough and we have to avoid injury. We can all train ourselves to be stronger and tougher in the face of that. And there's many different ways to do that. There was a quote that I really loved, and which I'll read out to you. It said, the oak fought the wind and it was broke. The willow bent as it needed and it survived. So it's this idea that there's lots of different analogies and ways to think about resilience. We can have a shield of armour to protect us from injury when life gets tough, or we can try and bend like the willow and flex back again when we need to. We're going to talk about taking we're going to talk about your team. Okay, let's think about your team. Right, okay, so I just want to, yeah, okay, I'm going to just, yeah, okay, we'll get this one. Trying to decide, I'm getting excited by all my props, so I'm trying to decide which one to do. We've got a whistle, I won't blow it too loud. Whistles are a method. Having your whistle is a method of rallying people. If you were doing a sport, you would have your whistle and it would help you rally your team, wouldn't you? So what we have to do in life to really, really thrive and to be really mentally fit is to rally our team. Everyone needs support, whether you're extroverted or introverted, everybody needs support. We rally, the people around us become our team. And they say that it's really important that you choose wisely who you spend your time with, because we become like the people around us and we're influenced by that. So we want to hang about with people that are going to help us shine, people who perhaps they're positive, maybe they help us have more mischief, or maybe when things get tough they scaffold us, or maybe when we need it they humour us and help us to see the funny side of that. I can't recommend highly enough that for all of us, at any time, stop and think a bit about who you have in your team that's supporting you through your journey of life. And at any point in time, we can fire, retire, and rehire. And by that, what I mean is, let's make sure that the people that surround us are the people who deliver what we most need in life. And at any point in time, if somebody in your team isn't serving you well, it's all right to press pause on that and to create space for somebody who's going to support you in the way we need. What I would say is get clear who it is in your life. Become really, really clear who is it in your life that has your back, that helps you, that supports you. Secondly, brief them well. We need to know how we can help other people around us. You need to know how people around you are helping you, and you need to tell them. Stay connected to people in your team, because it's very, very hard to ask for support and rally your team when you've not been so connected and the time has passed. So stay connected and call on them when you need them. More than ever now, we need to call on people, we need to physically distance, but we need to socially connect and stay connected to the people on your team that can help you achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, let's think a little bit about success. Right, success, celebrating your success. How do we do that? Success comes in all forms. Success can be about big impacts, it can be about the big, crazy, wild and wonderful things we achieve, and success can be also about small breakthroughs. So what I'm going to say to you about this is celebrating success, and everything you do every day is really, really important, and it's something we forget to do. Because what we get busy doing is we get really busy focusing on the to-do list. And we tick things off our list and then we move on. And we don't always make enough time to actually celebrate what we have achieved. And sometimes it's the small, tiny, little wins every day that are important. And so what we have to do is sometimes we just have to get our magnifying glass out. I find myself doing this a lot when I'm coaching people around mental fitness, to really get people to drill down and focus in on the small details of what they've achieved, because in there lies clues that help us know how to create more success. So that's very, very, very important. What's important is we celebrate our wins, because our wins tell us how to create solutions. They tell us how to focus on competency, tell us what our competencies are and our capabilities. How did you create that win? What was it about you such that that was possible? And small wins accumulate over time. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. And that's a lovely quote from a lovely coach called Sarah Seed that she shares with me. And I remember that, and I share that with other people. Okay, so the other thing is this, and this is for you, Gabrielle and Ashley King. Big celebrations, a big raising my pom-poms for you today, and for everybody who's shown up here. And you know, again, this is a little bit of fun, but I like to cheerlead people, and I like people to cheerlead me. But actually, what we really need to do is cheerlead ourselves too. Let's cheerlead ourselves, but let's become our own cheerleaders as we go. But let's celebrate what we're managing, what we're winning, and where things are going really, really well. So, top tip, I'm asking you, make a habit of recording your successes every day. 3 things at the end of your day. that you can record no matter what kind of day you've had. And the most difficult days, it is still possible, I promise you, it's still possible to notice and recognise the wins, small and significant. Record your wins at the end of the day. Why not share that with somebody? Share it with somebody who's got your back, someone who's going to get excited for you too, and this will build into your motivation and it will help you continue to take the actions you need to take every single day. Okay, we're going to focus now on my favourite. Because when you have all these other things in place, when you have your mindset, when you have a story to take you forward, when you're on the journey you want to be on, and you're looking after your well-being, when you've got the mindset to drive you forward, not hold you back, and you're able to deal with the curveballs and the tough days, when you've got actions to take and you know how to get focused on those, and you're celebrating your successes, and the right team are around you, you can live your life's adventure. Now this is my favourite. So final one is all about embracing your adventure. Now that just seems like a little bit of fun. Why is it important? Well, I love adventures. My adventures are about bike riding and the wilderness and building fires. But that's not really important. What's important is, what do we mean by adventure? And what does adventure mean to you? Because there are all sorts of ways to have adventures. Now, it's not been so easy to do the things we would normally like to do. We've been restricted, but micro adventures are at our fingertips every single day. And it's possible to create adventure in the ordinary. When we're adventuring, so when we're taking time out, I like to think about being an out-of-office thriver. So when I take time out and time off, it influences my time on, and I'll tell you this. When I'm adventuring, it helps me get out of my comfort zone. It helps me do things that are uncomfortable so that becomes more possible in all sorts of parts of my life. When I'm adventuring, sometimes I find solutions, and those solutions can be transferable to other parts of life. And it helps me take risks and have more fun. It's all about being able to have more, do more, and be more. And I guess I'm curious about, on a scale of 1 to 5, this isn't something we need to do a poll on, but just for yourself, how much is adventure showing up in your life right now? Is this something that you're having regularly? Is it on your agenda? Is it on your radar? Is it important? So what I'll say to you is this. In the world we've lived in, it's not been so possible, but there's 2 tips I have for you in and around adventure. What is that thing that always goes to the bottom of your list and it always waits? It always seems less important. What is that one thing? It could be like cocoa by candlelight. It could be about, climbing hay bales and having childlike fun. It could be about learning something new. It could be stargazing. Make time for some adventure in your life. And I'm going to be creating an adventure challenge over the month of May. So if you want to be involved in that, please do. This is my adventure jar. All my ideas for fun adventures are in here, and I can tap into them anytime I want. And I also invite friends and family and people who know me well to throw some wild cards in there too, which is fabulous. Okay, so here we are. This is us rounding this all up. Here's what I want to say. Investing in mental fitness is at least as important as looking after our physical fitness. We all have mental fitness. We've all survived up until now. How have we done that? We've done that because however many years we have on planet Earth so far, we've built skills, we have mental fitness. We perhaps are just maybe not so aware that the things we do every day are part of our mental fitness. We can all work on building our mental fitness because, you know what? You can be glasses half full and top up. That is possible for all of us. Life doesn't get easier, we get tougher, we get stronger. It's a quote that I love. So therefore, to have that, we always need to be in the process of building our mental fitness, and we have to have the belief and the confidence that we have the capability to deal with life's curveballs and keep moving ourselves up that mental fitness scale so we can work towards mental wealth. And I'm really keen to know what people have been asking. So one question I have for people is this. Your mental fitness wheel. This is a rating tool that I use with clients, and it's a way to have a bit of a deeper dive. You'll have this in your kit, in the kit that you have for today. It's a way I use that I help clients to just dive a little bit deeper on their mental fitness and look at where they're at and look at changes that need to happen. And the question is, this is a rating tool and it goes from 1 to 5. Now you won't have done this yet, But if you can just take a little bit of a look at this, and the question is, if your mental fitness wheel was the journey of your life, would this be a smooth journey or a bumpy ride? This is a wheel that I completed recently with a lady that I was working with, and we decided that she was going to have a really incredibly bumpy ride, and so that this is where the work began. In your toolkit today, you have one of these. I would really invite you to look at the different areas and give yourself a rating, and just have a little bit of a think about whether you would have a smooth journey or a bumpy ride. There's never been a better time to think about our mental fitness. I would love to know more about what you would pack in your kit bag. It's something that we should all be thinking about, because that's how we have more, it's how we be more, it's how we do more. Me, it's Polly Brennan from Adventures Coaching, talking about mental fitness.